The best way to clean up your audio is to record it properly in the first place. Sounds obvious, but that way there's nothing to clean up. But in the real world, that's often easier said than done. The world's a noisy place, and the more you tune your ears to spot it, the more you'll hear. I recently recorded video interviews with a group of older people in a large theatrette. This is it here. Glass cases on the wall, carpet on the floor, and an air conditioner up here on the wall. The carpet and a lot of velvet chairs in the room made the acoustics pretty good, lively but not too much echo. We were about 40 minutes into the storytelling session when the air conditioner up here spontaneously kicked in. Unfortunately, I'd set the room up with all of my mics facing the guests, and therefore the air conditioner, they're all pointing this way, and there's the guests and there's the air conditioner with its sound coming straight at all the microphones. The air conditioner was off when we started. When it turned on, I could have turned it off, but I decided to keep recording mainly because time was precious, and these people had made quite an effort to be available for the recording. I didn't want to inconvenience them. That decision made the editing pretty tricky. I needed to intercut grabs from the no aircon section with others recorded from the very obtrusive aircon hum. Cutting from one to the other was really distracting, so I needed to get rid of the aircon noise. You can see here, if I blow this up, we'll look at our audio waveform here, and you can see here this is the non-aircon area, and you can see that the speech is
the same
good
in other families.
and their noise is minimal in this region here. You can see it's only a tiny bit of noise there, but look what happens when we move across to the aircon. The aircon switches on between here and here, and look at the difference in the size of the waveform. It's a massive increase in noise. Let me show you. I'll just loop a region in here in the low noise section. We'll just put a little loop in there, and I'll loop the playback, and now you can hear the noise. And if we look up here at the VU meter, we can see that we're sitting at around about minus 30 dB with this noise in the ordinary room. Now if I move that loop across into the aircon region,
And none of us would talk.
in here, we can see that we're up to minus 18 to minus 15 dB in the aircon region. It's a very, very intrusive sound, about 12 to 15 dB higher than with the aircon turned off. So it's got to be fixed. How do we go about that? First of all, I'll turn the looping off. And now I'll give you a little guided tour of noise reduction using a combination of Vegas Pro, which I'm editing in, and SoundForge. So the first thing you do is right-click in the audio track, and you then go Open Copy in SoundForge. Don't open the original, open a copy in SoundForge so you don't damage the original, obviously. SoundForge fires up, and there we are. And here's our same waveform, just as noisy. So how do we go about using noise reduction in SoundForge? First of all, we expand the waveform right up. This is something you can't do in all nonlinear editors, but Vegas is fantastic at it. So we can go right up here, and we can choose a small selection, just a few waves is enough in the noise area. And then we open up our tools, noise reduction, and we come down here to capture a noise print, and we just do a tiny preview of that region we've selected. Then we go to this blank panel, and we have to right click in that. You wouldn't realize you had to do that, but you have to right click in that panel and go select all data, and then we can preview it.
The old system of the son works at home for just his...
Now we can hear that the noise is reduced as you move this noise reduction slider across, but don't go too far. I'll tell you why. We preview it, and we move it across to about...
The son works at home for just his
maybe 20
board and keep until he gets married, then he gets a plot of land or
and we go,
help to buy.
OK, and we save that one. You can see the waveform shrank a little bit. Now we do the same thing. We just choose a very small selection again, and we click on Tools, Noise Reduction, repeat the process, capture the noise, print, preview it to lock it into the system, right-click, select all data, and preview again.
The old system of the son works at home for just his
and now we can
board
find
and
that
keep until he gets married, then he gets a plot of land or help to buy. That system was.
So we've got rid of virtually all the noise. You can see the waveform's gone right down to almost nothing in the gaps there. But unfortunately, if I play it now, just listen, you'll hear a slight cycling, a little bit of a robotic sort of sound.
The old system of...
Which means I've gone too far. And what I found was, in this particular example, something about the phasing of the air conditioner noise made it very, very difficult to get the noise removed without going robotic. So it was a bit frustrating. I tried working in Acoustica 7, and that's a fantastic audio package. I love it. But I still managed to go towards this robotic sound that I didn't like. So another approach that I finally used was to go into my plugins and dial up Isotope RX5 Dialogue Denoise. And the way I use this is I first of all make a loop in the noise section of the track and turn looping on down here, and so this will play over and over and give Dialogue Denoise something useful to learn from. So I press it into manual position, press learn, and now I press play, and you can see the curve picks up immediately. That's now learned. So I turn learn off, and you hear it goes a lot quieter suddenly. I turn the loop off, and now if I adjust the thing, I'll take a fair bit. It's loud noise, so I'll take both of the threshold and reduction.
Plot of land or help to buy. That system was going out then, and
so with just a few steps, the isotope noise reduction has worked really well on this particularly tricky kind of air conditioning noise. I guess what this means is that no single tool will automatically solve all audio problems. Most of us have a variety of tools available, and you just find the one that best suits your needs and go with it. In other words, the one that makes your audio sound best is the right option.